Sometimes life gives you a sentence that has a profound impact and will change your life forever. And it happens when I went in Cameroon with my friends in 1999, and I had to take the anti-malaria prophylaxis Lariam. And we went in there with the Cessnas in very small planes in the middle of the jungle. Without any problem, I was sitting in the back of the plane, and when I came back, because of the Lariam, I even didn't dare to go into a Boeing 747 anymore. And I thought, when I was walking on the street, I would die on the spot. And I tried everything. I tried every medical treatment that you can imagine. I spent a fortune until that one sentence came from my psychiatrist. And he said the simple words, Eduard, your brain is damaged, it doesn't get better, you just have to learn to live with it. And when you are in your 30s, then you can imagine that it is not acceptable to live your life forever like that. It was a dark, deep dark period. I couldn't function on my job, I couldn't function in my family, in everything. So you can imagine that it's not acceptable to say, okay, this is going to happen for the rest of my life. And then I discovered biohacking. And biohacking is the art and science of changing the environment around you and inside you so you have more control of your biology. And I found that a very intriguing approach. So I applied all the principles that Dave Asprey was mentioning, and it was very effective. So here you see the difference, me in 2002. Of course, there is a 25 years difference, so I have become older, I can't deny it. But you can see the difference in weight, 15 kilos less weight, but also the eyes. For me, that's the most important thing. The dead eyes in the left picture versus the eyes in the right picture. And if you look at my biohacking journey, then there are 3 stages. The first one is the technological wiring, the second one is the data wiring, and the third one is the awakening wiring. And I started my biohacking journey in the technological wiring. And the goal of the human-machine integration, which is the technological wiring, is to improve the cognitive and the sensory function. And I visited all those meetups in the first decade of the century, of this century, the meetups about quantified self, and they talked about FRID chips, implants in your hand, so that you can open the door. And I thought, okay, I don't think that will help my journey, but I discovered also all kinds of other, technological devices, gadgets, that really had an impact on how I felt. So it was very interesting, for example, in a device like the Neurovisor. It's based on the technology that was developed in the 60s of last century, and it already had a very profound impact on how I felt. It really worked. And I thought, okay, this is very interesting. But then I discovered that there was a next phase in biohacking, biohacking 2.0, the data wiring. And I started to collect every single data that you can imagine. I measured my HRV, my activity, my sleep, my readiness, the temperature during my sleep, the lowest heart rate, blood values, ketones, glucose levels, DNA, whatever you can imagine, I measured it, and I started to optimize my lifestyle, because that's the whole idea about biohacking 2.0, is that you use all those data and you run the experiments and you see what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and then you choose, in fact, you create your own lifestyle that will as a goal, increase your peak performance of the brain and the body. And nowadays, the most people that apply those biohacking 2.0 principles, they use it for increasing the health span and potentially lifespan. And here you can see a very small selection of the biohacking experiments that I applied in those years. And it started about 2010, and it continues till this day. And all these experiments, I measured them, and I checked whether it worked, and if it didn't work, I left it out of my regimen, and when it worked, it still stays in my daily routine, as was mentioned in the introduction. And then you have the question, of course, does it work? And I can say that from a physical point of view, it works. So my blood value is in excellent condition, my cardiovascular system is in excellent condition. Everything you can name is physically in an excellent condition based on the measurements that I do. But still, you can have a very optimized physical body and be energized and wake up in the morning ready for the day. But if you can't handle the issues that arise when you are an entrepreneur, issues arise all day long, and you have those negative emotions, people that are offending you. And I discovered that I was not able to deal with it in the right way. I optimized my body, but I didn't optimize my mind. I didn't know how to react, and people saw me being irritated and not being able to handle all those issues and becoming defensive. And I thought, okay, this is something I have to deal with. Otherwise, I can't imagine that I will be happy for the rest of my life. So then I created the next evolution, and that's the biohacking 3.0, and that's the awakened wiring. And the whole idea behind the awakened wiring is the pyramid that you have to start to work on yourself. And this is a very tough journey. It's way tougher than optimizing your physical body, because you have to work on yourself. You have to work on controlling your emotions. You have to control your stress levels. How do you deal with adversity? But also the next level, self-actualization, the inner work that you have to do, and in the end, the transcendence. So for the first level, self-mastery, that is what I mentioned, is how do you deal with emotions? How do you react when someone is offending you? Are you becoming defensive? Do you judge other people? One of the most profound practices that I learned, so I did a lot of things in order to deal with this first level of self-mastery. And for me, Stoicism was a breakthrough. I learned reading the books, The Obstacle is the Way, for example, that in every disaster is an opportunity to make things better, and you only should control or only focus on the things you can control yourself, and give the other things, consider the other things as a given. You just have to learn to deal with it. And when you are used to be very reactive and defensive and feeling self-pity when something is happening, then this is a completely 180-degree different approach dealing with those things. But I learned that it's also, in fact, very simple. It's just a switch that you have to turn on and think, okay, what can I do with it, instead of blaming the others. And the next level is about self-actualization. And that's even the next level, that's harder. It's dealing with your inner work. It's the focus on things that happened in your life. It's dealing with traumas. It's dealing with addictions, the shadow work. And one of the most profound experiences that I applied when I dealt with this second phase was dealing with my traumas, the ego hacking, because the ego is built on the traumas in the past, and everybody, every person has hundreds of traumas. And I went to the 40 Years of Zen. I don't know if you have heard about it, but it's a 5-day training, neurofeedback training, where you deal with all those traumas that happened in your life, hundreds during those 5 days. And you do it together with creating alpha waves, because when you create alpha waves, then you become in a status where you can forgive other people. It's a very sophisticated process. James Hart, here on the picture, is the inventor of it. And I entered it thinking that I only had 3 traumas in my life, thinking that I would be finished in one morning, and then ending up 5 days of continuous popping up of traumas and dealing with it and feeling 20 kilos lighter when I came out of it. One of the most profound experiences that I ever had when I entered this whole journey of biohacking 3.0. And then when you have dealt with that dealing with emotions, and when you have dealt with that next level of inner work, then you have the opportunity to become your true self and to go beyond yourself, to not only be focused on yourself, but feel connected with something bigger, with something that is greater than yourself, and maybe you can feel, you can express it as being part of the universe. And I give you an example, and the thing is, it can't be a continuous thing. It are those special moments that you experience in life where you think, okay, this is what is meant with transcendence. For example, when I play with my band on King's Day, and you can say, okay, playing an instrument that is biohacking 2.0, that's training your brain, it's anti-aging. But playing in the band is different, because then it's not about you anymore. It's about the band that is creating the symphony together. It's the interaction with the audience. And then you forget everything. You become in a status of flow. And then after that experience, you think, okay, now we have had a very, very, very special moment that you can't describe how special that feels. And the other one is just being in nature, having profound nature experience, where you consider yourself just to be a very tiny part of the universe, and that the nature is way more powerful, way more beautiful than you as a person. So, if you combine this all together, then you can be sure that biohacking 1.0 will continue. The technological developments will go faster and faster and faster. It's an exponential development. And when you look at biohacking 2.0, then we can see that we will optimize our bodies even further, and that maybe in the near future, 10, 20 years from now, we will even be able to reverse the damage that is done in our body. And even we can live forever. And then you can say those two trends will make us superhumans. But that's not the thing. It's not about being superhuman, it's becoming fully human. And that's why you should apply the biohacking 3.0 biohacking principles to your journey. And then I think when the whole humanity would apply these 3 movements together, I'm convinced that in the end, it will be a better world. Thanks.